What are the main challenges that governments are facing around the world? Guaranteeing health for all? Preventing climate change? Closing inequality gaps? In 2015, the United Nations established the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. This initiative encompasses 17 major challenges, which, in turn, are divided into hundreds of public policy issues. So how can decision-makers determine budgetary priorities when the range of policy options is countless? The way in which governments prioritize the allocation of resources across the SDGs is key for the 2030 Agenda's success. To tackle this challenge, researchers have now developed a tool to support governments in establishing policy priorities to achieve these global goals. Governments typically have consulted with experts or used statistical studies to make these decisions. In both cases, the results are usually single-dimensional because it is difficult to take into account hundreds of indicators simultaneously. Also, hiring experts is often expensive and time-consuming. And the findings aren't so clear-cut. Often there is a waste of resources from inefficiencies such as corruption, and crucially, there are complex interdependencies between policies that should be taken into consideration. For example, investing in industrialization tends also to produce negative outcomes for the environment, while investing in public transport might also boost education outcomes because more children become able to access school. Clearly, the problem of policy prioritization is multidimensional and complex. Fortunately, advances in artificial intelligence have facilitated the creation of tools that overcome these limitations. Imagine knowing the impact of public spending on every development objective, and knowing how soon it will be achieved. With such knowledge, one could discover the issues that require further investment and topics where resources are being wasted. This could enhance better spending, maximizing positive impacts in less time. The result? Prosperity for everyone. Seeking these insights, computational economists Omar Guerrero and Gonzalo Castañeda have developed a methodology to support governments in establishing policy priorities to achieve the SDGs. Policy Priority Inference, PPI, uses data that all governments build, development indicators. Through a computational model of the policy-making process, PPI replicates the historical patterns of these indicators and networks their interdependencies. It takes into account their levels, speeds, fluctuations, and the spillovers between different policy issues, for example. This model simulates a government allocating resources and the agencies in charge of transforming them into public policy. Important aspects of public governance are also considered. For example, the quality of monitoring and the strength of the rule of law, as well as the process through which agencies learn to evade supervision and establish social norms of inefficiency and corruption. PPI is multifaceted, bringing together knowledge from various disciplines: complexity economics, behavioral economics, network science, computational social science, and policy science. By using historical data on development indicators, PPI infers missing information, such as which topics have received more priority in the past and how efficiently resources have been used. This helps researchers and policymakers to evaluate whether the development goals set by the government are realistic within a specific time frame, or whether it would require multiple governments' terms to reach them. It is also possible to assess potential time savings or delays caused by changes in the reallocation of resources or in the overall size of the budget. Discovering development accelerators and bottlenecks becomes much easier. PPI can help governments anticipate the results of their public spending decisions so they can design feasible and efficient development strategies. Finally, it is a tool that can help NGOs to evaluate governments and verify if they are prioritizing the right policies. A win-win for citizens and public servants. Since PPI can add great value to the development planning process, international organizations are currently promoting it among local and national governments across different countries. If you want to use PPI or require more information, please follow the links on the screen or contact the creators directly.